2006 IIHF World Championship game between Team Canada and Slovakia. Добрый вечер, уважаемые любители хоккея, и добро пожаловать на игру IIHF чемпионата мира по хоккею 2016 года между командами Канады и Словакии. The game officials for this game have been licensed and assigned by the International Ice Hockey Federation. Представляем судейскую бригаду матча. Судьи Международной Федерации хоккея. Referees of the game are главные судьи матча Константин Оленин and Daniel Pikacek. The linesmen are линейные судьи Роман Кадерли and Глеб Лазарев. The starting lineup for Team Slovakia. Стартовый состав команды Словакия. Goalkeeper, вратарь, number 33, номер 33, Юлиус Гудачек. Defenders, защитники, number 2, номер 2, Андрей Секера. Number 52, номер 52, Мартин Маринчик. Forwards, нападающие, number 79, номер 79, Либор Гудачек. Number 25, номер 25, Марек Виденский. Number 13, номер 13, Томас Юрчо. The starting lineup for Team Canada. Стартовый состав команды Канады. Вратарь, goalkeeper, number 33, номер 33, Кэм Телбот. Defenders, защитники, number 44, номер 44, Морган Райли. Number 8, номер 8, Крис Тенев. Forwards, нападающие, number 16, номер 16, Макс Томи. Number 55, номер 55, Марк Шейфилд. Number 61, номер 61, Марк Стоун.
Slovakia is coming off a stinging loss, led 2-0 against Belarus after 2 periods of play, gave up 4 even-strength goals in the third to drop it. Now the Slovaks find themselves in 5th place in Group B. Canada with a win tonight can clinch a top 2 spot and almost certainly a quarterfinal game here in St. Petersburg on Thursday. The only way the Canadians would not play here is if they played Russia. The Russians will play all their medal round games in Moscow. Canada's the home team in white. Has won 7 of the last 8, as we mentioned, against the Slovaks at the World Championship. And remember Vancouver, the semi-final game of the men's hockey competition, and a white-knuckle win for Canada to advance to the gold medal game. Here's Morgan Riley. Processing goes for Chris 10 on a long shot that's tipped high and wide by Mark Scheifele. And Stone plays it back for Riley. Mark Stone, Max Domi. Mark Scheifele the forward line. A centering pass for Domi, gets a quick shot away. And Julius Hudacek makes his first stop of the game.
Well, Domi is the third winger on this line with Scheifele and Stone. The two right-handers, Scheifele and Stone, have really started to put some chemistry together. They look very comfortable together. Smart, clever, big players.
Zeno Sigurd is first year as the head coach of the Slovak national team. Bill Peters was an assistant last year when Canada won gold in Prague. Canada has won 14 straight going back to that tournament last year. Cody Ceci, a hard shot, kicked away by Hudacek. There's Taylor Hall, loose behind the goal. He scored in every game for Canada. Derek Brassard feeds it back to Ceci. Across he goes for Ryan Murray. Murray for Brassard. Now Murray feeds it back to Brassard, loses the top, he shoots, it goes off a skate wide. Taylor Hall on it. In behind the goal for Corey Perry. And Perry back on it. Tangles there. With Schwarny, and the puck comes loose. Corey Perry involved in a scary collision with Tobias Rieder of Germany in their last game. Perry emerged unscathed. Rieder's up for the tournament. Marco Dano in, shoots, it's blocked by Mike Matheson. And they'll call a hand pass, and the face-off will come outside.
Good start for Canada. They've used the back of the net well to help their cycle continue along. The Slovaks are going to have to be really disciplined to keep the front of the net as clean as possible. You mentioned, Gord, the loss to Belarus. They also lost prior to that to Germany when the Slovaks came out of the gate with 2 straight wins against Hungary and France. They looked to be in pretty good shape. Their points games were their first 4.
Right.
They came out 2-2. Now they've got Canada, Finland, US to finish.
Loose behind the goal is Boone Jenner, wraps around, shoots. Hudacek at the pad down. And the loose puck goes to Thomas Marcinko. Plays it across for Vladimir Drevetsky.
Wow, there's the back of the net being used again. The Slovaks have trouble denying that as Canada goes side to side and walk right out of the net. That time it's Jenner getting to the front and forces Hudacek into a really difficult stop.
Mike Matheson, the Florida Panthers of the National Hockey League from late in the year, spent most of the year in the American Hockey League, had a good year. As Matheson brings it up. Matheson backhands up towards the goal. And it's blocked there by Christian Jaros. Stolen now by Brad Marchand. Tries to feed it back for Connor McDavid. McDavid, Marchand, and Matt Duchesne, the forward line for Canada.
Back together after the third period apart where Marchand was switched with Taylor Hall.
McDavid come busting in, and at the last second, Smarney got a stick on him. At the point, held by Morgan Riley. A shot tipped in front of the goal by Duchesne. Patrick Lushnak bottled up there. Marchand on him along with McDavid. And Lushnak has to swing back. A 3-man forecheck for Canada. And here is Peter Cehlarik with it. The third-round pick of the Bruins a couple years ago had 1 shift in the second period of the game against Belarus. Now walking in, a quick shot taken by Andrei Sekera. And the first save made by Cam Talbot.
Sekera has room to walk in and look for his 4th goal of the tournament. Canada overcommitted on the one side and it forces Talbot into the save. Here's one of the wraparounds from below the goal line. Boone Jenner gets to the front of the net in front of Marcinko. Hudacek with the blocking save.
Lots of room back there for wraparounds and plays below the goal line on the wider right surface. Libor Hudacek, the goaltender's brother. For Viadensky, the centering pass was knocked down. And moved ahead by Canada's Sam Reinhart. Here comes Mark Stone back with it. Stone diving in across the line. Stone shovels it across for Scheifele. In shoots, and Hudacek makes the stop. Scheifele taken down. Stone plays it back for Ceci. Ceci the Stone. Winds it back for Cody Ceci. Coming off the bench is Mark Revai. This is going to be a penalty to Mark Stone for interference as he takes down Revai at the line. And the Slovaks will get the game's first power play.
No real argument to be had here. Stone doesn't see Revai coming off the bench. He jumps the pass, and then as Stone turns to the puck, Revai does too, and the Slovaks, who power play has been a little bit of a, well, not a little bit, a lot of a disappointment. Just 2 for 19 in the tournament, gets the game's first power play chance.
Sekera and Bakos have the Slovak power play goals. Canada's penalty killing allowed 1 goal on 12 opposition chances. Ryan O'Reilly on the face-off. A scramble puck picked up and played away by Tanev to the sideboards. Here's Andre Mazzaros with it in the corner for Mark O'Donnell. Another sign from Martin Bakos. And Bakos got tied up, and the puck leaves the zone. Ryan O'Reilly all over him. O'Reilly and Brad Marchand have shorthanded goals for Canada, so Canada's penalty killers have outscored the opposition 2-1 when shorthanded. Revai swings it across for Bakos, comes walking in, shoots off the stick of Morgan Riley into the corner. Tanev on it, picked up by Revai. Plays it back for Mazzaros. Wine sends it across. Schvarny slaps it down. Back goes a sharp angle shot. Talbot makes the save on that. Revai with it. Picked up by Marco Dano. Now the Winnipeg Jet, traded there by Chicago midway through the season. And Revai has it back. Rink wide he goes, and a hard shot taken there by Bakos. Talbot to save the puck loose for a moment. And the Canadian netminder has it.
Bakos shoots the puck well, and this is a really nicely played 5 or 10 seconds on the power play as they get the puck into Revai's hands. He's the guy they want to have it. His pass is right on the tee, and Bakos unloads it. Now, Marco Dano's looking for the loose puck, but Chris Tanev from the Canucks does a real nice job tying Dano up right on top of the crease.
Now, Duchesne will be shown out. Canada gave up a power play goal in the first period of its first game to the U.S. by Patrick Maroon.
A couple of minutes into the tournament. That's been it.
Eric Fiadensky steps in against Marchand.
Former Saskatoon Blade.
Drafted by San Jose, spent a few years in Worcester, the American Hockey League. Now Sekera winds and shoots, and that bounces wide. Minute to go in the Slovak power play. Now, bouncing puck, and Talbot swatted that away. In those losses to Germany and Belarus, Slovakia scored first, had the 1-0 lead on Germany, 2-0 on Belarus.
The game was in hand in Belarus, and then all of a sudden, against Belarus, then all of a sudden the wheels just came off.
Wow, Winnicek comes diving and sends it across, and Cody Ceci picks that off and fires it down the ice.
Oh, there was a lane for Hudacek to drive right across the front of the net, but he'd already decided to pass it. Nobody on the back door.
And here's Sekera with it. The Edmonton Oilers defenseman. Having a great tournament for the Slovaks. Played very well for them in Vancouver as well at the Olympics. Became the whipping boy in Buffalo. Moved on to Los Angeles, then signed a 6-year, $33 million free agent deal with the Oilers. Hudacek goes rink wide. Walking in and shooting is Martin Marincin. Final seconds of the penalty, and Stone is out for Canada. At the line, helped by Sekera along. Reshot, chance in front for Hudacek. Couldn't get to it, and Stone out of the box picks it up for Canada. Hudacek had 2 good looks there. Couldn't catch on either. Stone back with it as Canada changes. Sends it rink wide, just missed Brassard with that pass. Derek Brassard battles for it. Brassard, rink wide for Matheson. 2 shots on goal for the Slovaks in that power play. Slovaks playing without defenseman Michael Surson, who fell awkwardly against Belarus, broke his leg. Now Matheson in shoots, that's tipped wide by Marincin.
That was a terrible injury. Surson, who's played very well for the Slovaks, was by himself. Somehow his legs spread out, and when he went down, it was the most odd-looking thing, and somehow ended up with a fractured bone in the bottom of his leg.
It looked a little bit, Ray, like the Brendan Gallagher play when he hurt his leg for Montreal.
Yeah, nobody around, and all of a sudden he's on the train tracks, and a terrible injury for him.
In comes Dravetsky spinning as the Slovaks are changing. Talbot out to play it. And Talbot had the puck at his feet for a moment, knocked free by Lushnak. And now forced back. Lushnak centers it. The puck missed Cehlarik and goes back down the ice. Cehlarik didn't play in the Slovaks' first couple of games.
Scored in his 3rd game.
And then basically didn't play in the last one.
That's a tough one to figure out. I mean, without knowing exactly what's going on the Slovak bench, but you score 1 game and you get 1 shift the next.
Now Cehlarik tries to center it, picked off by Duchesne. Matt Duchesne pivots back and feeds to the head for Marchand. Marchand shovels that across for Ceci. He's got McDavid with him. In comes Connor McDavid, has a look and peels back. Off the bench comes Morgan Riley. McDavid taken down by Cehlarik. That'll be a penalty to Slovakia. So Canada will go to the power play with 12:20 to go in a scoreless first period here in St. Petersburg. Peter Cehlarik in his 5th year playing for Luleå in the Swedish league goes off for a trip, and Canada gets its first power play of the game. Canada 6 for 18 on the man advantage with 6 different power play goal scorers. We'll start with O'Reilly, who wins the draw back to Ceci. Perry and Brassard up front. O'Reilly shoots. Hudacek makes the stop. Ring high off the glass, and it bounces over and out of play.
There's some talk that Canada's waiting on adding a defenseman, whether it be one of the Nashville defensemen or not, if they're going to get to that point. I mean, they're at the point of the tournament where you're either going to do it or not.
Right.
But the one thing that Canada probably could use if they're filling out their roster is a power play quarterback, somebody to really run this power play.
Darren Drake will have more on that in our first intermission, talking about potential additions. Brassard in for the face-off, wins it back cleanly. O'Reilly to Ceci. Cody Ceci to Ryan O'Reilly. Back for Ceci, walks in, plays it across. Duchesne unloads, and Hudacek comes across and makes the stop. Back at the point is Ceci. Takes the return pass from Duchesne, flips it across to O'Reilly. Down towards the goal, Corey Perry picks it up, rebound, Brassard gets a piece of it. Hudacek makes the stop, and they're going to say that Perry was in the crease, and as a result, the face-off will come outside.
Perry's going to make a nice little spin here to the front.
So the puck is out, he's in.
And not trying to get out. That's the way they'll call that. Here's the earlier play. Well-designed play onto the stick of Matt Duchesne. Is quick one-timer turned aside by Hudacek. And when you watch Hudacek play, he looks a lot like Thomas Vokoun in the net. Upright, upper body, catches with his right hand, more a blocker than a catcher.
And winds up in the net a lot of times, making a stop. Ceci. Gives it across to Duchesne with Perry again standing in front here. Ceci with it. Brassard winds it down. Duchesne, a backhand shot that deflects wide. Now O'Reilly back on it. O'Reilly to Ceci. Comes across. Ryan O'Reilly. Rink wide it goes to Duchesne. Duchesne walks back in front, bouncing puck. O'Reilly gets a shot away, lifted that high. 50 seconds to go in this Canadian power play. Duchesne works in. Well, back pass there for Brassard. Derek Brassard with time. Pulls it down. Duchesne right on the doorstep. Tried to play it back. The pass is blocked by Mikush and then moved down the ice by Dominic Graniak.
It's a really strong play for Graniak as they're now tired the penalty killers are, and he leans on his stick and takes it away from Duchesne and gets the puck down the ice.
That's done through the middle for McDavid. The pass in behind Hall, picked up by Viadensky. He falls. And now has it back along with Zidlitsky. Or Skalitsky rather. And now Skalitsky. Up for Dumba. To Hall. Busting in with Stone. Taylor Hall centers it. Pass bounces off the skate of Scheifele to McDavid. Final seconds now, the power play. Dumba with his shot, and Hudacek makes the save and hangs on.
Taylor Hall's got a goal at least in every game for Canada. He had 2 in that 5-2 win against Germany. Moved on to the left wing of his Oiler teammate Connor McDavid. Scored what turned out to be the winning goal on a nice little give and go. And it's been 2 productive tournaments in a row here at the World Championships for Hall.
12 goals in 14 games over the last 2 years. And out for Riley. And the penalized player Solaric is back on the ice for the Slovaks. Here's Brendan Gallagher, works it back in front. Hudacek gets the pad down. Hudacek is once again half in the net as he makes that stop. And now pushing and shoving breaks out. Gallagher's in there along with Marchand. And for once they're not going at it with each other.
Gallagher drives from below the goal line and turns it into a traffic accident in front of the net here. Look at him get to the puck once, and then all of a sudden, when he goes down, so does everybody else around the front of the net. Everybody fishing around until Hudacek can get a glove on it. Strong move by Gallagher. And there's the puck kicking around. It goes off finally off of Dano's skate back to Hudacek, but again, from below the goal line to the front has been a real strength for Canada here in the first 10 minutes.
At the point is Morgan Riley. Plays it down for Marchand. Marchand, Jenner, and Gallagher, the forward line for Canada. Here's Gallagher digging for it for Marchand. Picked up by Martin Bakos for the Slovaks. Brings it around for Sekera. Mentioned Sekera was really down and out playing for Buffalo. Went to Carolina, got moved to LA, kind of found himself again, then signed that free agent deal with Edmonton. There is Marco Dano, who, boy, he had a long year of travel. Began the year in the American League for Chicago, went to the Blackhawks, didn't produce much, then went back to the American League, got traded to Winnipeg. So for the third consecutive year, he played for 3 different teams.
He's just 21 years old, a first-round pick in Columbus, and went in the Brandon Saad trade from Chicago to Chicago from Columbus, kind of a key part of that deal. Then moved on for Andrew Ladd, and 4 goals in 21 games in Winnipeg, but really hasn't even got his feet wet. He's on his 3rd organization. Kind of reminds me of Keith Ballard, who was traded a couple of times before he ever got to the NHL. Arizona and Florida.
Right. Joe Morrow, the defenseman in Boston, was dealt a couple of times before he ever played in the NHL.
It's got to be an odd circumstance. There you are, minding your own business in junior, and somebody calls you and says you got traded, and you're thinking to another junior team, and you're like, no, not there.
All centers for Brassard. Derek Brassard with a sharp angle shot. Hudacek makes the save and hangs on.
And Derek Brassard's had a really good tournament. Points in every game, 2 goals and 5 assists on the tournament. Here he takes the pass from Hall, and he's looking up. You see his head immediately. He wants to go onto the back door to Corey Perry, or to Mark Stone rather, but that's nicely shut off by Bartanes, and so Brassard delivers it to the net.
Here's Riley back with it. Morgan Riley, a long shot, scores! Sneaks it through, and Canada has a 1-0 lead.
There's a face-off win for Brassard. Morgan Riley's first goal in the tournament is about a 55-foot wrister that goes all the way through. There's a screen about halfway out. Clean win for Brassard. And there you see the Slovak defenseman, Marcinko, goes to block it. Man, if he's going to block this, you got to block it. You can't miss it because you see Hudacek doesn't even see it. Here will be a really good angle at it. Marcinko is in the middle of the ice. It goes through his legs. Good luck, Hudacek, trying to get a look at that. Morgan Riley's on the board, and Derek Brassard has another point, his 8th in the tournament.
Shots are 9-3 in favor of Canada. Now a 1-0 lead. Canada plays France on Monday, then wraps up the round robin against the Finns on Tuesday night. Game that will more and more as those will decide top spot in Group B the same day that the Russians play the Swedes in Moscow.
Whoops, look out.
Hudacek got locked in behind the goal. Now Perry back with it. Corey Perry wraps it around. Poke check there by Hudacek. And they might get Hudacek for the trip on Perry.
Well, we got 2 choices. It looks like it's going to be, was that Jaros that's going to go?
Christian Jaros is going to go.
A couple options. It's Swift, boy, yeah, it's the right call. I mean, you're right though. It could have been them both. As Perry looks like he's going around the defenseman and then dives between Jaros and the post, and Canada gets their 2nd power play.
3 shots on goal in the first one. McDavid, Shifley, Hall up front, Stone, and Dumba on the back end. Stone swings it across to Dumba. Back for Mark Stone, works it in for Dumba. But shot, Hudacek made a toe save there. Bouncing puck in front, Stone takes a whack at it. And fished out by McDavid, dying for it is Dumba. And Dumba kept it alive for Stone. Moved up by Marcinko. And finally Marincin kicks at it as well and forces it back down the Canadian zone. Here's Dumba with it. Dumba flips it rink wide for McDavid, drops it back for Hall. Taylor Hall throws it back to Dumba. Slides it across to McDavid. Centers it sharply, a shot that was blocked by Sekera. Rolling puck at the line for Shifley. Looks for Hall, it got away from him, now Stone waiting for it. And his pass back to Dumba missed as Shifley goes back to Canada. 1:08 to go in the power play.
Shifley will leave it and change as the other power play group completes their turn on the ice.
Ryan O'Reilly buffs it across the line. Corey Perry in behind the goal, taps it across for Duchesne. Matt Duchesne back at the point for Ceci. Into the corner for Duchesne. Duchesne throws it off the back of the net for Perry. To the point to O'Reilly. Ryan O'Reilly back to Cody Ceci. Swings it across for Duchesne. In for O'Reilly. 30 seconds to go on the power play. Ceci. In for Duchesne. Sends it right towards the goal. Tipped by Broussard and knocked away by Schwarny. At the line, held by Ceci. A bouncing puck. And it's knocked out by Wiedenski. In comes Derek Broussard. At the line, the play is called offside. 11 seconds to go in this power play.
Matt Dumba from the Wild is at the top on this power play. He gets a really good opportunity directly in the middle of the ice and a sharp pad stop as this is deflected out high too. Man, Hudacek is having enough trouble here, and he's got to fight through the guys in front of him, his own guys. One screens him on the first goal. This one is deflected out by the forward. If
you missed it earlier, Hungary with a 5-2 win over Belarus. Its first win at the World Championship in 77 years. They're still settling outside. We'll have more on that in our first intermission. The Hungarian players came out to the hospitality tent to greet their fans.
They didn't have to look far from where they were.
Gallagher, a quick shot. The teams are back to even strength. One shot on goal for Canada on that power play. Jenner tries to play it out. And now back goes high in the air, trying to find Dano. Tanev. That's too far from Marchand. That was close to too many men for Slovakia. And they've been calling that tight in this tournament. As the French, they've been called 4 times, including 3 times in one game. Marchand. Up ahead for McDavid. He finds Reinhart. The pass got in behind him, and now Marchand back with it. Ryan Murray. Feeds it ahead for Reinhart. Now McDavid looks around for Domi. That pass picked up by Schwarny to the line and held by Murray. There's it back down low to McDavid. Trying to find Domi. He does. Max Domi to Reinhart. Domi, McDavid, and Reinhart up there together. 3 gold medalists from the 2015 World Junior. McDavid. In he goes for Domi. Domi walks in, waits, going to fill that pass down to McDavid. It was picked off by Yaros. And Christian Yaros brings it back the other way. David gave him a hard bump. Cam Talent makes the glove save and hangs on. 4.5 to go here in the opening period. Canada with a 1-0 lead. More Slovaks than Canadians here in St. Petersburg at the moment. Canadian families arrived for the most part last couple of days. It's week 2 of this World Championship, heading towards the quarterfinals on Thursday. And the finals and semifinals take place next weekend. In this spectacular city.
What a great place. Oh. What a beautiful city.
Had that skip away from him. And Skalitsky digs for it, but picked up by Tanev. Gallagher got knocked down, but it's picked up by O'Reilly. Ryan O'Reilly brings it up, flips it down to the Slovak zone, but Marinchen's back on it. In comes Skalitsky, tries to drop it back, and Lushnak got it poked away by Morgan Riley, the Canadian goal scorer. Here's Riley on it. Skalitsky off the sideboards, falls, and the puck back to center ice. Slovaks won silver this tournament in 2012. The year they beat Canada in the quarters. Dano plays it down for Rivai. Martin Rivai centers it off the stick of O'Reilly back into the corner. Dano Back for Solaric. A long shot taken by Schwarny. Kicked away by Talbot, and the rebound moved out by Morgan Riley. Laid back in, though, by Dano. Mike Matheson with it. Point player, Quebec native. Plays it across to Riley. And back at the corner, Matheson goes back to pick it up. Former captain at Boston College. The first round pick of the Florida Panthers. The 2012 draft, very good to Team Canada on defense.
Very good to their defense. 6 of the 7 out of that draft.
Revai digs for it. Lost it to Matheson, in behind Revai again. And then Revai ties up Matheson, forced it free. Hudacek couldn't hang on to it. Boone Jenner digs it up. Jenner tried to streak away, but Bakos comes back to pick it up. Bakos for Libor Hudacek, the goaltender's brother. Hudacek slides it across. Poke check there by Perry. And a long shot tipped on goal by Viadensky, kicked away by Talbot. Hall back on it. Chops it up to center ice. Perry gets there first for Canada. In comes Corey Perry in alone. Shoots. Hudacek makes the stop and the rebound dribbled just wide. And Perry's still down in the corner. Got taken down there by Thomas Yurko. And Perry just getting to his feet now.
Perry had come across the ice and was kind of hanging out outside the blue line. Hall chipped it up, and don't see many breakaways for Corey Perry from the red line in.
In comes Ryan Murray now, shoots. Put it high and wide. Brought out by Hall. Taylor Hall drops it back for Dumba. McDavid joins the attack. That's knocked away from him. Marchand picks it up. That was very close again as Hall was going off the ice. Ceci drops it back for McDavid. Connor McDavid drops it back for Ceci. Cody Ceci winds, waits, shoots. That goes wide. And now knocked back down the ice. Marchand with it. High in the air to the corner he goes. A minute and a half to go in the opening period. Sekera lost the puck to Marchand. Center to Duchesne, scores! Brad Marchand and Matt Duchesne. And it's 2-0 Canada.
Duchesne, like Taylor Hall, has put together back-to-back excellent World Championship tournaments. The puck has quickly moved up the ice, and Marchand's going to get to Sekera, who turns it over, and Duchesne puts it into the shelf. Sekera's got control of the puck. He sees McDavid sealed the wall, so he wants to reverse it, but Marchand has jumped the pass. And with Mike Babcock here, the players trying to impress for their last push onto the World Cup team. There's a couple of them, Duchesne and Marchand. Corey Perry missed a breakaway earlier. It's getting close. May 27th is the last day for those rosters to be named.
This is Canada's 5th game of this World Championship. Duchesne has scored in games 1, 3, and 5.
Look out in the game against Finland.
Look out, Finland. And he's now scored 15 goals in 37 career games at the World Championship. Sam Reinhart tries to center it. Reinhart poking it free. Final minute now of the period. Reinhart, Scheifele, and Stone out there for Canada. Again, Darren Drager left some discussion of potential Canadian additions. Canada has 2 open roster spots. As Scheifele picks it up. Scheifele spins that rink wide, walking in. Domi with a chance. He got blocked. Stone back with it. He dressed 20 skaters in games under the IIHF, and Canada's at 20, so if they add 2 more, 2 players that are currently playing will have to be dropped.
Well, Ben Hutton hasn't had a shift here from the Canucks, so he would likely be the defenseman.
And didn't have a shift the last 2 periods of the last game.
Now, would they, if they add 2 defensemen, do they take 2 defensemen out, or do they go 12 and 8?
CC shoots, that's tipped away by Domi. Canada hasn't liked 12 and 8, but if they get 2 defensemen, they might go that way.
Well, if 2 defensemen are coming, they're playing.
Right.
I mean, nobody is getting on a plane now to come over here and not play.
Right. O'Reilly sweeps it down, and Canada gets goals for Morgan Riley and Matt Duchesne. A 2-0 lead after 20 minutes here at the 2016 World Hockey Championship.
Canada 2, Slovakia 0. Shots on goal in the first period. Броски по воротам в первом периоде. Team Slovakia, 4 shots. Team Canada, 14
Good.
shots on goal.
Morgan, I know you've been focusing on better starts for your club. How did you think that opening was?
I think it was okay. I mean, we got a lot of room to improve, but, we came out well, played our game, got the puck in, so we got to keep chipping away here, but, lots of room to get better.
Probably going to need the power play as the tournament goes on. Is it nice to build a little confidence with the man advantage?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the past couple of games, we managed to bury a couple, but we got to keep going, keep working on it in practice, and, like you said, it might be a big part of the tournament down the road, so got to keep working at it.
Mike Babcock in the building. Is that always a little more something in it for you when that's the case?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I haven't talked to him yet, so I'll talk to him after. I'm sure he'll have some pointers for me.
Thanks, Morgan.
Thanks.
Кем бы мы ни были, чем бы ни увлекались, что бы ни любили и что бы любили не очень, наступает момент, когда все уходит на второй план, и нас объединяет одно. Это наша игра, потому что хоккей в каждом из нас. Шкода, генеральный спонсор чемпионата мира по хоккею. Райффайзенбанк. Разница в отношении. Introducing the 2016 IIHF app. Player statistics. Team statistics.
Live updates. And introducing Hockey Cards. Your face, your team, your car. Share it with hockey fans across the world from any smart device in your own language. The 2016 IIHF app, powered by Skoda.
Skoda. Simply clever.
Pirelli. I0.
Новая шина Pirelli i0 с уникальной технологией двойного шипа Dual Stat. Отличное сцепление и торможение на льду. Зимние шины Pirelli. Будь готов к русской зиме. Pirelli.
I0.
Крупнейший дистрибьютор автозапчастей мировых производителей. Автоматизация складской логистики, не имеющая аналогов в Восточной Европе. Собственный товарный знак «Автозапчасти Патрон» с 2004 года. Товарный знак «Патрон» зарегистрирован в 21 стране мира. Автозапчасти Патрон. Побеждаем вместе. Наш лед. Наша скорость. Наша надежность. Наш характер. Наша поддержка. Наши победы. Это наша игра. Это наш хоккей. И этого у нас не отнять. Ингосстрах. Официальный партнер чемпионата мира по хоккею 2016 года.
Matt Duchesne has his third goal of this World Hockey Championship. Canada with a 2-0 lead. After one period of play earlier today in this building, you saw in our first intermission, Hungary beat Belarus 5-2. Finland beat France 3-1. Playing right now, Kazakhstan and Latvia. The Kazakhs with a 1-0 lead there. And it is a bowl of porridge in the standings in Group A. Czechs lead the way. Russians right behind them. The Czechs beat the Russians in their opener. Now the Russians have added 3 players from the Washington Capitals.
The top 3 are, I would say, what everybody thought they were going to be. Although
not in order.
Not in that specific order for sure.
Boone Jenner left the Canadian bench late in that first period.
Hasn't returned. They're down a player on the bench.
Brinson ahead to Yurko. Here's wide he goes. McDavid knocks that down. Now picked up by Hudacek. Works back in. Libor Hudacek. Poke check by Talbot. Piedensky. Watched there by McDavid. He finds Marchand. Brad Marchand with Chris Tanev driving the middle lane. Marchand drops it back. The pass in behind everyone. Now a 2-on-1 for the Slovaks the other way. Yurko and Hudacek. Yurko in. Shoots. And that's blocked by a sprawling Morgan Riley. The rebound knocked away by Talbot as Marincin came in. Now Riley back the other way and a wide open start to the second period. Morgan Riley centers it, knocked away by Sekera. Picked up by Derek Brassard. And Brassard peels back. Top of the goal line for Corey Perry. Perry wraps it around, Hudacek down. 2 whacks at it by Perry, then flattened by Andre Mazzaros. Derek Brassard down to Perry. Andre Mazzaros, a 10-year National Hockey League veteran. Known for his big shot and some heavy physical play when he played for Ottawa, Tampa, the Flyers, Buffalo.
His career certainly hampered by a series of injuries.
2 major back operations. As Taylor Hall picks it up, drops it off for Perry, walking in. Corey Perry, what a move, a backhand shot, put that wide. Hall back on it. Drops it down to Perry. Back for Taylor Hall, that's knocked away. Corey Perry, one of those players who was not named to Canada's initial list for the World Cup. As Backwood comes in and shoots, Talbot makes the stop.
Perry, a couple of chances here to score. This one he dances through, uses his skate to keep the puck alive. He's trying to go in the back door to Brassard. And earlier, Libor Hudacek gets to the front of the net. Riley turns it away. Canada gets lucky here on the 2-on-1. Martin Marincin is following up. If that's a forward or a defenseman that thinks offense, he's going to slide that across the crease. But he doesn't. He shoots it. That was a wide open net on the back door.
In the meantime, a shot by Schvarny is knocked up and away. We got a penalty coming. It's going to go against the Slovaks. Vladimir Drevetsky for interference, and Canada gets an early power play here in the second period.
There's Drevetsky screening off Gallagher. The interference call made in Canada's third power play of the game.
Scheifele, along with Stone and Hall up front. McDavid now on the point, back for Dumba with his shot, knocked away by Martanis, and Martanis quickly checks his stick. Hall to Stone, throws that through the crease, missed McDavid. And a chance shorthanded, poked away there by Marchenko, and picked up by Dumba. When McDavid played in the first period with Max Domi and Sam Reinhart, he was 3 of the top 4 scorers from the 2015 World Junior. Scheifele works in, backhands that wide of the goal. Here's Hall back on it. Taylor Hall with a rolling puck, battling for it, finds Scheifele. Back at the point is Dumba. To McDavid. Back at the point to Dumba. Slides it across. Stone with a shot, blocked by Mazzaros. Stone back to Dumba. Rossi goes to McDavid. McDavid to the goal line. Hall pulls it back. Hudacek makes the save short side, and McDavid picks out the loose puck. Connor McDavid. Back to the goal line to Hall, swings it rink wide, loose puck, and Hudacek pounces on that before Mark Stone can get to it.
A Hall with room off the goal line twice off of McDavid passes. McDavid setting up on the half wall and giving the puck or delivering the puck to Hall. with enough room that Hall's got room to get to the front. Hall not very happy because he knows there's a couple opportunities that were there waiting to be taken advantage of, and they just couldn't execute the play.
Now Ryan O'Reilly, Corey Perry, and Derek Brassard up front in the power play. Duchesne and Ceci on the back end. Brassard back for Duchesne. To Ceci with a shot. He pounded it wide. Cody Ceci has a point in every game for Canada so far in this tournament.
He's really started to emerge again, hasn't he? Like, he had a great year last year, struggled at the beginning of this year, a really good second half, and when Dion Phaneuf arrived in Ottawa, all of a sudden you could see the way that top four is supposed to look.
30 seconds to go on the power play. Here's Duchesne back at the point for Ceci. Ceci for Duchesne. Rink wide pass finds Brassard. Spins it back for Ceci. Across to Duchesne. Perry standing in front. Duchesne works in, shoots off the leg of Mikush and wide. Brassard back for Ceci. Ceci back for Brassard. Final second of the power play at the line, held by Ceci. Slaps it down for Duchesne. Duchesne winds in, drops it back. Here's Ceci. Winds and shoots off the end boards. It goes and bounces right back in front. Revive picks it up. And Cody Ceci took that away from Drevetsky, who snuck in out of the penalty box.
Really good awareness because Revi had noticed the penalty was over. Ceci bailed on the play, and it's a good thing he did, or this would have been a long breakaway for Drevetsky.
Canada had 2 shots on goal in that power play as Tanev brings it out. So interesting news from Darren Dreger in the first intermission about the possibility of Ryan Ellis and Shea Weber of the Nashville Predators joining Team Canada. Ellis, one of the all-time leading scorers for Canada, the World Junior, now fed across Drevetsky. Oh, what a chance, and a save by Talbot. Might have ticked the post as well. Cam Talbot comes across and takes one away from Drevetsky. Yaros feeds it across for Sekera. Tied up there by Tanev. Back at the point, Yaros a long shot, hits Talbot up high, and Riley has it back. Morgan Riley had to Boone Jenner back out there for Canada. And Jenner got body slammed there by Yaros. Ryan Murray swings it back to Cody Ceci. Up ahead for Max Domi. And Hudacek stops at him behind the goal. And again, no prohibition in international hockey and where the goaltenders can play the puck. And in this tournament, we have seen multiple scoring chances ensue because of it. Domi with a steal, slides it across for Ceci. Hudacek fell in the crease.
Just caught an edge, and fortunately the puck wasn't in a position to be shot because he wasn't in a position to save it.
We saw one of the oddest things in a German game early, that long shot knocked over by Hudacek when Christian Ehrhoff fell 3 times in the first period.
Just kind of standing there. Would that be more odd than Thomas Grice's goal against, or the goal that Kazakhstan scored on Red O'Bara?
I was going to ask you, so if you missed it, Thomas Greiss with an own goal just knocked a shooting attempt into his own net, but a long shot by Kazakhstan that eluded Red O'Bara at a key point in the game as Brassard walks in and shoots.
Now that would be the winner for me. I mean, that's 150 feet in the air. You got to be able to catch that.
There's a quick shot by Hall, turned away by Hudacek. Derek Brassard picks it off and finds Hall. Taylor Hall falls. Perry back at the point for Matheson. Mike Matheson drops it back for Perry. Long shot knocked away by Schmarny. And picked up by Sekera. Andre Sekera lines it across for Schmarny with a long shot. That goes wide. Hudacek throws it towards the goal. Brassard got a stick on that. Revi was in behind him, and now Hall has it back. 7 gone here in the second period. Canada with a 2-0 lead. Shank collides hard with Revi, and Tanev picks it up. Weak wide pass to Riley. Up ahead for Duchesne. Matt Duchesne throws out ahead. Marco Dano got in the way. And Martin Bakos has it back. It's easy to say that Dano hasn't been a big scorer anywhere. As that long shot taken by Revi, Bakos knocked down a penalty coming to Canada, but Dano and the Slovaks will get a chance as they go to the power play when we come back.
Slovakia on the power play. There's Vladimir Drevetsky, number 22. He's helping organize it. What he's saying is, give me more room in front of the net. A wide open net about a minute and a half ago, and he hits the crossbar. Cam Talbot's diving back into play. Nobody touches it, but it got in front of him. He's trying to wedge it up high. And a glorious opportunity gone. Now Slovakia looks to get back in the game on their second power play.
Off the face-off, Drevetsky again, cleared down the ice by Canada. Shots are 6-3 Slovaks here in the second period. Overall 17-10 in favor of Team Canada. Still 1-0 in Moscow. Kazakhstan leading Latvia. Kazakhstan trying to leap over Latvia in the standings. So two things there, trying to track down a spot in the quarters and avoid relegation. And by the way, it's official. Slovenia and Italy will come up next year. The Italians had to wait to make sure that France and Germany didn't finish 7th and 8th in this pool. They're co-hosting next year, so they can't be relegated. But now Germany can't finish that low, and so the Italians will come up with Slovenia.
That's the best scenario. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to work. It would have been a bit of an awkward deal if you qualify, but you can't play because the host country didn't make it. Germany's been much better this year. A real step up for them. Marco Sturm's first year as the head coach. And
very good in the Canadian game. It's a 2-2 game. You mentioned Hudacek picks it up, waits, drops it back. Mikulic's shot, Talbot the save. And he'll hang on to the loose puck as Viadensky was standing right there looking for any opportunity.
And Mikulic in the middle of the ice. Talbot has to adjust from his right to left and gets across to make the stop. Here's the earlier chance. Drevetsky's got the wide open net and the puck goes in front of him. Look at him reach out for it over Talbot and off the crossbar. You're going to see that one over and over as his head hits the pillow tonight. Which is nowhere the Hungarian fans' heads will be tonight.
No, Hungarian fans are not going to bed tonight. Boone Jenner busts in now. Jenner comes in, swept away by Mazaros. Jenner stays on it. Hungary's win, its first in 77 years at the World Championship. Their fans were ecstatic after losses. It's hard to describe the scene outside after their win.
The Hungarian broadcasters are to our left, and they said upwards of 2 million people have been watching the games anyway. On a country of just about 10 million people. I imagine as the word got out that they were winning today, the number might have climbed.
On a Saturday, the middle of the afternoon, Marco Dano. Mazaros a long shot, 2 shots for the Slovaks in that power play. Midway point now of the second period, still 2-0 Canada. Mazaros to revive. Ahead for Solaric. Trying to get around Tanev, who stays with him. Back at the point, Yaros. Long shot fired wide of the goal. Mikulic's back on it.
In this tournament, Canada's had some sleepy moments in the first half of second periods. This has been maybe the most difficult portion of the game for them. They always seem to catch it a little bit midway through the period, but not been a good starting second period team.
Hungary came out at 3 shots on goal against them in the first couple of minutes of the second period. Lushnak walks in, shoots, Talbot makes the stop and hangs on. The puck squirted free, and play continues as Corey Perry has it back. Perry along with Hall. Perry throws that ahead, delayed offside indicated against Canada, and And as Perry touches up, it'll be called.
Cam Talbot's had some busy moments here in the second period. A long shot that he looks like he's corralled by Patrick Luznak, but it rolls off his arm. He thinks he's got it here, except it's already working its way free. Unfortunately for Canada, they're able to clear it aside.
Talbot, the native of Caledonia, Ontario, playing for Team Canada for the first time in his hockey career at the age of 28. The Edmonton Oilers goaltender. As Marchand comes in, walks in and shoots. Hudacek makes the save. The rebound just squirted away from Duchesne as he came busting in. Gravetsky for Martsenko. And Martsenko chips that down to the Canadian zone where Matt Dumba is back to pick it up. Matheson plays it around for Marchand. Sekera ranges back with Connor McDavid closing quickly on him. Yurko. Bouncing puck knocked away by Sam Reinhart. He finds McDavid. Connor McDavid steaming in. McDavid, a sharp angle shot off the outside of the goal. McDavid back with it. Stone in the corner for Reinhart. You mentioned that Ben Hutton hasn't had a shift in the last 4 periods for Canada. If 2 defensemen are added and Canada goes down to 12 forwards, Sam Reinhart's been the 13th forward here for Canada.
They would seem to be the 2 logical guys.
At the point, Varney, a long shot, knocked down by Talbot, rebound cleared away by Murray. Rolls right back down to Hudacek. Varney, up ahead for Rivaille. Martin Rivaille swings it rink wide, in the shot fired wide by Bakos. And Stone chips it up for Canada, chance now for Jenner, gets in behind Mazzaros. Boone Jenner works in, shoots at this short side.
Canada's got all kinds of guys on the ice. Nobody wanted to touch the puck. They got away and got it sorted out.
Scheifele spins back at the line. Mark Scheifele, who missed 1 game for Canada with illness, now moves it down to the corner for Jenner. Jenner got spun around. Penalty coming out of Slovakia.
It'll be Marco Dano for tripping.
Tanev plays it back, and it's fired down the ice by Dano. And with 7:18 to go in the second period, Canada with the 2-0 lead will go to the power play. Former teammates with the Colorado Avalanche talking it over as Canada goes to the power play. Marco Dano goes off. Mentioned that Marco Dano has never had a big year for one team, but he has seldom played for one team in a year. It's so hard when you move around like that.
It is, and don't forget he's playing in North America, so there's the adjustment of that. Now he's playing for Columbus and their organization, then he's playing for Chicago and theirs, and then he's playing for Winnipeg and theirs. Each place is a little different, each system's a little different, and he's 21. Players get lost when this happens. To get into Winnipeg and stay put would be very valuable to him.
Matt Duchesne spins back, feeds to Cody Ceci. Ceci to Duchesne with Perry standing in front. Duchesne swings it rink wide. The pass bounced away from O'Reilly. Now O'Reilly back out in the corner and his pocket picked by Pavel Skalitsky, and Skalitsky plays it down the ice. I am very thankful, Raymond, that to this point in their careers, Skalitsky and Zidlitsky have not played together in the NHL.
Well, there's enough that ends up too close together. Those two guys do not need to be on the same team.
Corey Perry on the half wall for Brassard, picked off and sent down the ice by Martinez. 6.5 to go in period number 2. Still 1-0 in Moscow. Kazakhstan leading Latvia. Brought in by Shifley for Stone. Mark Stone. Deals it back at the line for Dumba. Matt Dumba waits. Plays it down to McDavid. McDavid, rink wide pass and a good one to Stone. Shoots. Score! Tipped home by Tanner Hall. A power play goal. It's 3-0 Canada. And Tanner Hall continues his goal-scoring run.
7th power play goal for Canada. Their first at 4 cracks this evening. Hall's pivoting in the middle of the ice. Watch when he eventually gets himself there. Stone goes over to the left side. McDavid delivers these passes right on the tape, and a gorgeous pass, side to side. McDavid to Stone, Stone to Hall. Pretty tough to defend that, and it's 3-0.
And Hall tires Gustav Nyquist of Sweden for the tournament goal-scoring lead with 6. And Hall now has 13 goals in 15 games back to last year's World Championship. He's one of 3 returnees from last year's gold medal winning team, along with Matt Duchene and Ryan O'Reilly.
The key to that, well, there's a couple of keys to that play. One is that the passes have to be right on the tape because they're going side to side. If not, it's too easy to defend. Hall's positioning is key to have his stick in the right place to deflect that into the net. But when I watch McDavid play, I'm constantly amazed at how the passes he makes are so receivable. Look, this thing isn't such a rocket that Stone can't handle it. He's got his head up, he delivers it, it's flat. So Stone is able to take the puck quickly and turn the direction to Hall. And then Hall is just pivoted. He's facing McDavid, he faces Stone, and he puts it into the net.
Carney with it now for the Slovaks, and give Cam Talbot some credit for holding Canada in the early part of the second period when the Slovaks had some chances on the power play. Now Domi on it, slides it back for Ceci over his head. And a chance now for Libor Hudacek to bust it out along with Rivai. Hudacek throws that in deep, and Rivai has it. Centering pass knocked down by Stone. They don't keep a takeaway stat with the IIHF, but unofficially Mark Stone has to be one of the leaders in this tournament as well. Takes another one away. In comes Stone. Stone throws it towards the goal. Hudacek makes the stop with Shifley looking for the rebound. And Mark Stone among those who would be watched by Mike Babcock, head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs and the head coach of Canada for the World Cup. Looking on, Bill Peters, head coach for Canada in this tournament, will be one of his assistants.
Saw Mark Bergevin yesterday, and he's here for his stint. See Babcock coming in. Everybody comes in at various points in the tournament. Teams are represented by their European scouts all the time, but a lot of the NHL guys make it closer to the quarterfinals to let the tournament shake itself out a little bit.
Although we've seen management types here longer and earlier than we have in recent years, players are being found from more of the smaller countries as Marincin comes in. Maybe teams that wouldn't make the medal round that are sending players to the NHL. Hall, lead pass there for Brassard, chip down. Sekera goes back for it for Slovakia. Marincin up ahead to Dano. In the box for that Canadian power play goal. He flips it down and Matheson goes back. Matheson taken down by Marcinko, but Dumba has the loose puck, throws it back through the middle, and McDavid knocks it down for Canada. To Matheson, quickly ahead for Marchand, in with Duchene and Matheson. Bounced off Duchene's stick and moved ahead by Sekera, but the puck kept alive for Canada as Duchene has it. Matt Duchene banks it back in the corner for Marchand. 37-goal year for Brad Marchand this year. As McDavid winds in, drops it down, Duchene spins it back. McDavid, a quick shot that goes wide. Now McDavid back on it, sends it for Duchene. His shot tapped wide as well.
His change of direction is ridiculous. He's going full speed to his right, and all of a sudden he's going back the other way. Like, who is going to keep up with that?
McDavid.
Wait to get stronger.
Here's McDavid. Drops it back. Ceci with a drive. Blocked by Marchenko, or Marincin rather. And now Murray plays it back in the corner for McDavid. Connor McDavid. Throws it down to Jenner. And Boone Jenner, who left this game briefly in the first period, spins off the wall. Back to Ryan Murray with a shot that went off the stick of Lushnak. Loose in front and dribbled down to Hudacek. And he'll hang on.
Connor McDavid's got an assist tonight, 6 in the tournament. These are these passes I'm talking about. They're so receivable. Duchesne's able to spin. Watch it. Whoop. Lushnak has no chance to keep him out of the middle of the ice. I just love to watch him skate, just how he chews the ice up so effortlessly. There was one shift, and you can't get it watching on TV, but when you watch him live, he went 100 feet up the ice offensively, came back to the red line, then got the loose puck and went the other way. And it didn't look at any time like he had to kick it into another gear, but he was the fastest guy in 3 directions.
Here's Jenner picking it out. Down to O'Reilly. Remember a NHL management type talking about you wear 2 skates, but you have 4 edges, and the guys that can use the 4 edges like they can are just unstoppable.
Just so much work for some guys, and don't forget, we're not comparing him to a beer league guy here. We're comparing him to everybody else in the NHL. We're comparing him to the very best players here, and he's the very best skater. That has always impressed me about the very best players in the NHL. You're comparing them against the very best players in the world, and they're still the best. Like it's pretty special stuff.
You played against Pavel Bure. Fair to say you haven't seen a player make his move at high speed like Bure, since Bure, like McDavid does. There's Reinhardt, a sharp angle shot. Now Stone centers it. Scheifele fires it high and wide.
I'm going to think on it, but I'm not going to come up with one. I don't think. Bure's skating was a lot like Sidney Crosby's.
Now Scheifele shoots, scores. Mark Scheifele reaches out, taps that by Hudacek, and it's 4-0 Canada.
Just to finish that thought, that was power. McDavid's is elegance. There's a real difference. Mark Scheifele's got terrific hands. It probably doesn't hurt that he's almost 6'3". As Reinhardt gets the puck, keeps it alive off the end boards, and then watch Scheifele and Stone are going to connect here to keep the puck alive. Stone uses his body to protect the puck twice. One little touch pass from Sam Reinhardt. Look at how Scheifele uses his reach to get around Jurko and then slide this back towards the goal post and in. But Sam Reinhardt, who hasn't played very much, makes a really sweet play from behind the net. Stone uses his body to protect the puck. He's got a couple assists and 2 goals in each period. Canada's up by 4.
Now Hall has it back. Centered it. Got away from Perry. Chris Tanev has it back for Hall. Taylor Hall shoots it down the corner. And now Brassard on it. Derek Brassard pulls it back for Tanev. Down to Hall, picked off by Rivai. And Rivai drops it back for Marincin. Reinhardt and Stone draw the assist on the Scheifele goal. What a year for Mark Scheifele in Winnipeg. 29 goals. As Corey Perry works in 2-on-1. Perry in, shoots, just missed far side. Rivai back with it. We've seen twice in this game Corey Perry bust in. And Dano has it back and throws it rink wide. Riley ahead for Marchand as Murray came leaping off the ice. Now Brad Marchand back with it. Marchand pips away from Mazzaros. Oh, that rink wide pass for Ceci is picked off by Dano and sent down the ice, or Ceci was in alone. And now icing called against the Slovaks.
There is the Winnipeg Jets' #1 center. Stone's already protected the puck. Reinhardt has got his head up and he sees Scheifele is alone. Scheifele able to sling this back to the far post as he goes around Jurko and beats Hudacek right along the ice.
Scheifele and Stone were line mates at times 4 years ago at the World Junior Championship in Alberta.
They would be a good pair in the NHL together. Size, really good hands. They just play well together. There's lots of really good players that don't play well together. They do play well together. I like watching them play.
So what? Ottawa has to trade Stone, or Winnipeg has to trade Scheifele? That long shot knocked away by
Good luck
Hunacek.
with that. That's just like saying all that Patrick Laine needs is those line mates he's got. Barkov's really good. See if Florida will offer him up.
We'll work on that in the second intermission. All the problems solved here at the 2016 World Hockey Championship.
Slovakia 0. Shots on goal in the second period. Team Slovakia 11, Team Canada 9. Братские ворота во втором периоде. Slovakia 11, Canada 9.
Mark, spending some time on that power play unit with Taylor Hall and Connor McDavid, what's it been like getting to play with them a little bit? It seems you guys are working it around pretty well.
Yeah, it's a little different for me in a spot I'm not used to, but those guys make pretty good plays, so I'm still going to get open and fortunate enough to make a few big tic-tac-toe plays.
A lot of you guys still getting to know Bill Peters as a head coach. Describe what he's like behind the bench.
Yeah, it's different. Obviously, everybody plays for a different coach, but it's upbeat, quick hockey, so if we can use our speed and intensity, teams are going to have a tough time handling this.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Ты с уверенностью встречаешь любые испытания. А как насчет твоего лица? Новый крем для лица Nivea Men создан специально для мужчин. Он эффективно увлажняет кожу и защищает ее от сухости. Новый мужской крем Nivea Men. Уверенность тебе к лицу. Поддержи свою команду с Nivea Men. Nivea Men – официальный спонсор чемпионата мира по хоккею.
Он всегда скрыт от взглядов. Его хватка не вызывает цена. Именно на нем все держится. И когда нужен результат, его обеспечит Церезит. За надежную хватку отвечает плиточный клей, а затирка за безупречный внешний вид. За результатом стоит Церезит. Качество для профессионалов.
Это больше, чем спортивная форма. Это знак почета, символ гордости. И когда они надевают его, они не просто игроки. Они атланты, несущие на плечах свою страну, храбро сражаясь против лучших в мире. Именно спине вам ничего не скажет. Главное – это герб на груди. Самые яркие звезды хоккея съедутся в Торонто, чтобы выяснить, чья сборная сильнее. Кубок мира по хоккею 2016. Билеты уже в продаже.
Первое автомобильное радио. Авторадио.
I always have the extra one loaded just in case.
There's no problem.
There. Good to go? Okay. Mike, we'll begin with your role as head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and by coming here, you get a look at a couple of top young prospects in Austin Matthews and Patrick Laine. How much have you seen of their tournaments, and what are your thoughts on the two?
Well, I've seen quite a bit. You know, when you're out of the playoffs, you got time to watch a little TV. So, you know, obviously just watching Marty and Rise play here tonight is good for me. I'm going to have the opportunity to see those guys tomorrow. They're obviously high-end players and, you know, as well documented. But it's fun to be here. It's a beautiful, beautiful city. It's great to be around good hockey people and learn something and also watch these players.
All right, now as your role as head coach of Team Canada at the upcoming World Cup, some of the players playing for Canada are guys that would love to play for you at that tournament. What are you looking from some of those bubble players? What are you looking for to learn from them in this international setting?
Well, I think the big thing here is obviously it's another opportunity to watch them. And the guys that are playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs and continue to go a long way. You get to watch them longer, and all they're trying to do is put their best foot forward and do what they do, and then you're going to see if you can fit them into a plan. So, you know, obviously we got a real good management team there. They're going to make the decisions, but I'm going to get some feedback there. And so Bergie and I are here this week, and we'll take a look at these guys and see what we see.
All right, Mike, thanks, and enjoy the tournament.
Thank you very much.
Back here in St. Petersburg, Russia, on this Saturday at the World Hockey Championship, heading towards the quarterfinals. On Thursday, Canada plays France on Monday, Finland in the closing game here on Tuesday night. Finns are 5-0. Canada trying to match that tonight against Slovakia. Finns have a very good team here.
Well balanced, good depth. Their young defensemen mixed in more with some veteran guys, which has made them really difficult to score against. They have not given up more than 18 shots in a game in this tournament.
There's Zdeno Seger, the head coach of Slovakia. He had some player selection issues. There was talk about players in North America not liking the way they were approached, and several said no. Richard Panik in Chicago was very critical of the way the Slovaks approached him. Sam Reinhart peels back in the corner for Canada. Mark Scheifele back on it. The Finnish strategy is often to bypass NHL players and select players that play in their domestic league because there's a lot of tournaments during the year in Europe. And that core of the Finnish team plays together in things like the Channel 4 Cup in Russia, or Channel 1 Cup, sorry. Stone comes in, shoots! Save made by Hudacek, the puck still loose. We got a penalty coming. A slashing call will go against Andrei Sekera 39 seconds into the third period.
Fifth power play coming up for Canada. Mark Stone shot is stopped by Hudacek, and as he goes for the rebound, Sekera slashes his stick out of his hands. Canada scored on their last power play, the beautiful three-way passing play from McDavid to Stone, finished off by Taylor Hall.
Now Scheifele, Stone, Hall up front, McDavid, and Dumba on the back end.
Team Slovakia.
And Connor McDavid sets it up. McDavid lines it back to Dumba, has a lane and shoots. It goes off the shoulder. Trevecki gloved down by Hall. Back for Stone. Mark Stone play pitch and catch with Scheifele. Stone has it back, rink wide for McDavid. So many options here. Dumba shoots, it dribbles down towards the goal. Great chance for Hall, turned away by Hudacek. Now you've got Trevecki without a stick for the Slovaks, so it's a 5-on-3.5. McDavid drops it down to Hall. McDavid swings it rink wide, that pass knocked away by Trevecki with no stick. And the Slovak net has become dislodged. The net in that end has been like a swinging gate.
Yeah, this is the one.
You can see those flimsy rubber posts they use.
The funny part is the other net never gets knocked off.
It is weird.
The same post.
Those of us who remember Dave Heinmarch sliding into the net and wrecking both knees. This is far preferable to the old steel post.
Oh, without a question. I'll tell you, no, there wasn't many guys that drove the net with those posts the way they were. I mean, that made what Glenn Anderson used to do all the more remarkable. When we see a guy drive the net now, you have in the back of your head that the net's going to give away. You're kind of safe. Anderson used to go in there and just fly straight in there. Took a lot of courage.
You're driving the net without a net. Back at the point, Ceci with a shot, and Corey Perry right on top of him. Manages to do some Highland dancing to get out of the way.
That's a heck of an effort by Perry. Remember, he got called for the crease violation in the first period? Well, he's not going to get called this time. He's like one of the Walendas up on the wire here. He's tiptoeing around the top of the crease, and he ends up over on the side of the net.
The IIHF crease rule, if you're in before the puck, the blow play dead, the face-off comes outside. Subtle rule differences between the IIHF and the NHL. Of course, goaltenders can play the puck where they want. You can't hand pass the puck anywhere on the ice in the IIHF. In the NHL, you can hand pass the puck in the defensive zone.
I think you should be, you might. I don't like the different rules in different zones sort of deal. If you can hand pass it, hand pass it. The difference doesn't make.
Well, here's the one I don't like.
Well, you don't like a lot of them, but go ahead.
If you can kick the puck out of the crease, why can't you kick it in?
Well, they'll tell you they're worried about injury in the...
Right, then you should be able to kick it out. O'Reilly takes that feed from Perry.
Logic will get you nowhere.
And I'm sorry to even start thinking that way. O'Reilly with it.
You like the high sticking rule, too.
Duchesne, tipped wide by Broussard. You can knock the puck down with a stick at shoulder level. It's legal unless it goes in the net. And the crossbar is a reference point. O'Reilly works in. Ryan O'Reilly shovels that down. Perry sends it. Oh, what a stop by Hudacek on Broussard. He's thrown down. And Skalitsky has it now for Slovakia, the final seconds of the Sekera penalty.
Beautiful passing play by Canada. And Broussard right on the bottom end of the hash marks to take the Perry pass. And Hudacek, an excellent stop.
You can change one NHL rule. What is it?
Honestly, and this may sound, I say it half in jest, but if you don't throw the puck in the net, it should count.
So kick it in?
Kick it in.
Knock it in with bunting it with your hand?
When that, who in the playoffs last year headed a puck into the net?
Yeah.
It should count. Why shouldn't it count?
Right.
Like, if we're trying to get another goal per game, you're not going to have guys doing bicycle kicks trying to kick it into the net. The puck's on the ice, they're going to kick away at it, and I don't buy the safety issue. I don't see enough times that it would be dangerous.
Good check with a shot off the stick of Riley up and out of play.
And if you direct it or kick it, it should count. That's the one for me.
Okay, so when you get your free rule change card,
When are they handing those out? The 18-19 season?
Any day now.
Okay. I'll check.
Just wait by the mailbox. It should come any day.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it will.
Got pounded wide of the goal there by Sekera.
Okay, what's yours?
I like the IIHF crease rule. I'd probably look at that.
Okay, that's it. Don't say you're going to do something else. You only get one rule. Remember, it's your game.
I'm still mulling it.
No, you've used it now.
No, I didn't play that card yet. I think that would be it. I don't like all this reviewing goalie interference and bumping and trying to read people's minds, what they're trying to do in the crease.
Well, I'll tell you that there are some times when you go, man, that's a little tight, the crease rule. But the best part about it is it eliminates the problem before it happens. There can't be any bumping. The guys in the crease, they blow the whistle, out you go.
It's not a rule change, but I'd like to see a penalty in the first period called the same way in the third. Marchand swings it rink wide. That's not a change, but that's just...
Now you're talking silly. I'm with you. I don't necessarily, when we talk about what the standard is, I like the fact that in the international game, the guys learn in a hurry what is a penalty early is a penalty late.
Right.
And every tournament we're at, the first couple of games, there's Canadian players taking hooking penalties all over the place. By the third or fourth game, they're not doing it because they know they have to adjust. And now it's even less of a deal because most of these guys play some international hockey at under 17, under 18, World Junior.
There, we fixed the game. Sam Reinhart throws it down to Domi. And Max Domi back on it. Taps it a long shot, kicked away there by Granyak.
Domi's first shift in a while.
Yeah. Sam Reinhart has stepped up and moved on to the fourth line spot there for a while for Canada. Stones hit it. Oh, what a shot by Domi. Saved by Hudacek. Now Domi gets it back. Max Domi. Lines it back at the point for Matheson. A little slap pass there. Goes off the skid of Trubetsky and back down to the Canadian zone. Fired back down. And it'll be an icing call against Canada with 5.5 gone here in the third period.
Almost certain that's Domi's first shift of this period. And look how quickly he gets to the front of the net. Stone's backhand pass is right on the tape. And Domi tries to chip it up over top of Hudacek's shoulder. It hits him right up in the part of his pads that are sitting above his shoulders.
And he's wearing a larger man's equipment.
Yes, he is.
He's a 6', 190-pound guy wearing a 6'4", 220-pound guy's gear. Yarrow sends that rink wide, bouncing puck knocked down by Tanev. Corey Perry and across the line. Perry tries to walk that back in front. Sekera took it away from him. Slovaks have had their moments in international hockey, and one of their best 2002 when they won the World Championship. A year after finishing second, Corey Perry with a quick shot, and that's stopped by Hudacek. Here they got the hands full, down 4-0 against Canada in the third period.
I'll be whatever that you tell me when you're ready. Yes, I'll be your girl, forever your lady. You ain't never gotta worry, I'm down for you, baby.
Mark Scheifele taking his second World Championship for Canada. Has a goal tonight, 2 in the tournament. Scored 8 goals in 12 games at 2 World Championships for Canada, including 5 and 6 games here in Russia at the World Junior Championship in Ufa. I was talking before the break about Slovakia internationally. The 02 World Championship was especially sweet for the Slovaks after what happened in Salt Lake City. The qualification tournament that took place before that tournament happened while the NHL players were still playing. And the Slovaks were not allowed to use their NHL players in the qualification tournament, even though some of them were in Salt Lake City.
I remember Ziggy Palffy was one of those players sitting in the stands watching the team not qualify.
Right.
Because they couldn't get there in time. It just made no sense.
Peter Stastny was the GM of the Slovak team. He was livid with that arrangement, and the Slovaks didn't qualify, as you mentioned, but a few months later did win the World Championship. Back in 1999, one of their first years in the top pool of the World Junior Championship, they won bronze in Winnipeg, which was a tremendous achievement. 16-year-old Marian Gaborik was a key player on that team. One of those players, the first time you saw him, you'll never forget it. Blazing speed. Had 9 shots on goal on Roberto Luongo in a scoreless tie in Brandon. Matt Duchene flips it back in front. And Ryan Murray holds it, throws it rink wide. Of course, the Stastny brothers are Slovaks from the old days of Czechoslovakia. The split happened New Year's Day, 1993. As Rivai brings it ahead. Martin Rivai, rink wide, he goes for Bakos, back for Rivai, knocks it down, kicking a shot away. And Chris Tanev has it back. Lifts it back down to the Slovak zone. Hudacek sweeps that away, and Bakos waiting for it. The great Peter Bondra will be inducted to the IIHF Hall of Fame this year as Bakos works his way in. Bakos fires, and the blocker save made by Talbot.
Bakos can shoot. He's had a couple of scoring chances today.
So we've seen over the last few years, Ray, that NHL teams have signed players out of this championship to entry-level short deals or one-year deals to try them out. Get a free player.
Yeah, generally mid to late 20s players. They're not really questioning what that player is going to be. They feel they're getting a fully shaped player. And they have an idea where they can plug them into a role. That's what Philly did. I think a great example is Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. For that, they got a depth player for no draft pick. I mean, Panarin's a special case.
Right. So Panarin, who was signed off the Russian team last year, there was about a 9-team bidding war for him. Everyone knew how good he was. Picked up by Domi, feeds it back to Matheson. That shot blocked by Trubetsky. Scheifele chips that towards the goal for Stone, and Lushnak plays it out. Knocked back in by Matheson, plays onside for Scheifele. Canada changing, fed down to Stone, drops it back for Domi, in a backhand shot, stopped by Hudacek, rebound. Stone can't get to it. Now Stone flips it wide, bounce right back in front on Hudacek. And Dumba has it. Dumba fires, it goes wide. Stone back on it. Now Dumba tees it up and shoots again, and tipped high and wide. Mikush on it. Looks back for Lushnak. The Sudbury Wolves in the Ontario Hockey League. Lushnak feeds it back for Mikuch. 10 of these Slovak players have played in the NHL at some point. 13 of them played major junior in North America. Mike Matheson works in for Canada. Shoots for sharp angle. Hudacek swats that away. Broussard. Bumped hard in the corner, stays on it. And at the line, Matheson has to retreat.
It's about the portion of the game, the last 7 or 8 minutes, and now into the last 10 of the third period, where teams just don't have the depth to hang with the bigger countries. There's just, your legs are gone, you can't quite get to the puck.
And you mentioned it earlier, those losses, look out, they hit long into the boards with Skalitsky. He's slowly getting to his feet and trying to make his way back to the bench as Ceci brings it ahead. Cody Ceci walks in, drops it back. Ryan Murray has it. Back in the corner for Ceci, and Skalitsky laboring on the Slovak bench. Hudacek plays it around. But the loss is, that's tipped right on goal. Brassard tips it home. It's 5-0 Canada. And the Slovaks now, with a hole getting deeper, they've still got Finland and the U.S. to come.
What a play by Corey Perry. Perry sweeps to his right. He's got that long reach. Gets right into the scoring zone and then swings it back to Derek Brassard. Puck kept in at the point. Now watch Perry head up the whole way and he slings it over to Brassard. Brassard doesn't move a foot to tip this into the net. A goal and an assist for Brassard. Perry picks up a helper and it's 5-0.
And Corey Perry also has a point every game for Canada so far in the tournament as Matt Duchene comes in. But the points the Slovaks left on the board, their losses to Germany and Belarus.
Crushing for them.
A 2-0 lead on Belarus after 2, gave up 4 unanswered even strength goals in the third period. Led 1-0 on Germany, and now a penalty coming to Sekera as McDavid was brought down. And Duchene down to McDavid. Extra skater comes on, it's Perry. And McDavid throws it down in the corner for Duchene. And finally touched up, and with 8:58 to go in the third period, Canada's going back to the power play. And Sekera's going back to the box.
There's the penalty for Sekera. He had a slashing penalty earlier in the period, and for Canada, their 6th power play.
They're 1 for 5 so far with 10 shots on goal on the man advantage.
Team Slovakia, number 2.
Ceci knocks it down, plays it around for Derek Brassard. And Duchene tries to flip that back, but it's knocked out. A race for it now as Ryan O'Reilly goes back for it.
There's 8.5 minutes left. This is a bit of a pet peeve of mine. I've been over here in these tournaments and I've seen it happen. It'd be kind of nice for Ben Hutton to get on the ice. He hasn't had a shift yet, and I don't like the thought of somebody coming all the way over here and sits in the middle of the bench to watch the game. I mean, we understand what's going to happen if Ryan Ellis, et cetera, show up here, that he won't likely be in the lineup, but it'd be nice to get on the ice a little bit.
Tony Ceci for Derek Brassard, walks in and fires. Glove save made by Hudacek. Another rebound fired down the ice by Mazzaros.
I mean, surely he was told before he came over here he wasn't going to play a lot, but none is none.
A lot's different than at all.
It's tough. This is 3 weeks of his off season. It's gone.
Hall plays it down to McDavid. Centers for Scheifele. The pass knocked down. Lushnak plays it to the line, but not out. Helped by a reaching Matt Dumba. Now Hall back for Dumba. Cross to McDavid. 40 seconds to go in the power play. Connor McDavid dishes down to Hall. And Hall back to McDavid. Centers it, and that's knocked away by Lushnak. Mark Stone had a tap in. Scheifele drops it back to Dumba for Stone. Stone down to McDavid. Wheels in behind the goal. Centers it. Taylor Hall stick broke. Now Scheifele tries to pull it back across. That was likely a tap in for Hall, but his stick betrayed him. 10 seconds to go in the power play. Just over 7 to go in the third period. Kazakhstan still tied at 1 with Latvia in the third period. As Marchand comes in and shoots, that's blocked, and pinballs around in front of the puck.
Team Slovakia.
Christian Yaros up high, and Yaros shake it up. Now Yaros slowly gets back to his feet. 5-0 Canada leads here in the third period from St. Petersburg. Back here in St. Petersburg, Russia. Big Slovak contingent here. A few Canadians as well in the crowd. Slovaks come to these tournaments with high hopes. They go to the quarterfinals and do some damage. We mentioned in 2012, beat Canada in the quarters. They were terrific in Vancouver. One of the great stories of the Vancouver Olympics, the play of the Slovaks.
And it was that kind of the last run for that great group of players.
Yeah.
And they knew it. And what I've said before, one of my favorite moments of broadcasting was, well, this shot, I'll get back to that in a minute. That shot deflects off the defenseman's sticks and hit Jaros in the side of the face. He's gone to the locker room probably to get some stitches around his chin. They're cleaning up the ice now. But when they won that shootout game and they were all standing arm in arm on the bench, it was one of the great things that I've seen.
Now it's an extraordinary story, the split of the Czechs and Slovaks and the emergence of those two countries as very different styles, obviously. The Czechs have adhered more to the old style, but Slovaks have become North American primarily because so many of their players play in North America in Major Junior. They formed that Team Orange, which is a national junior program that plays in the Slovak Extra League to try to keep their players at home.
And the one thing about a program like that, I think we all have to remember is you can want the results quick, but that's a decades-long change to be made.
4 members of Team Orange, which was formed in 2008, are playing here for the Slovaks in the World Championship. Within 4 or 5 years, probably half the team will be Team Orange players. Fewer and fewer Slovaks are playing Major Junior now. Mazaros played for the Vancouver Giants, moves that puck ahead. He was a big-time shooter in junior.
1 year in junior and then on to the Ottawa Senators for Andre Mazaros. We're going to look at Derek Brassard from the New York Rangers. 9 points in the tournament, points in every game. He wins a face-off. Morgan Riley's shot gets through the goaltender, and then here just moments ago, he's the recipient of Corey Perry's gorgeous feed. That's a pretty good stat line for Derek Brassard.
Reason to smile. A consistently productive player.
5 points in his first game after getting traded from Columbus to the Rangers.
Hello, New York.
Canada has 30 goals and has given up 4 in the tournament through almost 5 full games.
Now Matheson tried to work it across. That's picked off by Drevetsky. He's away, along with Bartanas. Big test after France. Will be that game against the Finns on Tuesday night. And that's the game they're already talking about, not in the Canadian dressing room, but certainly around this tournament. Dynamic Patrick Laine.
A goal and an assist tonight, or this afternoon.
Ryan Murray sends it ahead for Taylor Hall to Derek Brassard. The pass return for Hall, bounced in behind him, and now Skolitsky has it back.
Jussi Jokinen having a fantastic tournament. He's got 7 assists. Plays on that line with Laine and Alexander Barkov, the fantastic young centerman from Florida. And like we said earlier on, the Finns haven't given up more than 18 shots in a game. That should be a heck of a game when the Finns and Canada hook up in the last game of the round robin.
That's 1 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday.
What day is today?
Today's Saturday, right?
I got that right. I do get a little lost over here.
Okay, we all do it. I always figure if you get within 1, that's a win.
Oh. It's tough sometimes following when the games are at home.
Right.
Because it says today and there's no games. And
right.
Wait a minute, but it is today.
Large shoots knocked away by Talbot.
We haven't put that together with any consistency yet.
No, Mazzaro's a long shot to Dwight. Watching the overtime goal scored by Nashville at 9:30 while eating breakfast in the hotel was a little different. Mazzaros works in, shoots! Save made by Talbot. Murray picks it up. People who are NHL fans over here, that's a tough deal. In Russia, a lot of the games are run back the next day in prime time.
What about the guys that play here, and you hear these stories all the time of their parents getting up at 2:30 in the morning so they can watch? And I mean, I had a little taste of that when we were over here at Christmas. I was exhausted during the day watching my son play. Like, man, I gotta get some sleep here. These 2:30 starts are killing me.
Afternoon games are big hits here. Now a 2-on-1 for Canada. Brad Marchand, Matt Duchesne. Marchand swings it back, missed Duchesne. McDavid's got it. And now swung back for Libor Hudacek. 3.5 to go in the third period. Canada looking to run its winning streak in the World Championship to 15 games going back to last year. Martin Marincin of the Toronto Maple Leafs. That pass bounced to Duchesne, and Matt Duchesne winds his way in. Duchesne shoots, Hudacek makes the stop, and Marchand can't reach the rebound.
Canada has 33 shots. On Hudacek, there's Cam Talbot's 18th save, the shot by Andre Mazzaros. And then Marincin gets all tied up. The puck's in his feet. Marchand's got a 2-on-1. Duchesne's opened up for the one-timer. And as Marchand slings it back to him, it's just a foot behind him. Duchesne was primed for the one-time shot into the vacant side of the net.
After the work in, Brad Marchand hit the 30-goal mark this year for the first time in his career and been steaming up to 37 goals. Boone Jenner did the same thing this year. Hit the 30 mark for the first time. Ryan O'Reilly centers it, just missed Gallagher. And O'Reilly has it. Jenner down low with it. Boone Jenner. Drops it down to Gallagher, tied up there by Mikush. And Rivai has it back. Martin Rivai, former star for the Gatineau Olympique in the Quebec Major Junior League. Faces Benoit Gros. Throws that down in the Canadian zone.
Benoit Gros just hired back into the American Hockey League.
Yeah.
Will take over Tampa's farm team.
So now for the Slovaks, got to reload and play the Finns on Sunday. Slovakia in 5th place in this group, a point behind Germany. And of course, the Germans hold the tiebreaker against them. And you got to think that the Slovaks got to get at least 2 points of the last 2 games against the Finns and the U.S.
2 minutes left in the third period.
At least 2.
Последние минуты третьего периода.
They've really put themselves in the hot water with the back-to-back losses to Germany and Belarus. And they started off just the way they had to with those 2 early wins. Those are the gettable games for them.
We thought Belarus would steam up the standings because they played their hard games early. Then they trip up against Hungary today. Tara peels back in the corner, lost the puck to Stone. Another steal by Mark Stone.
Offensive zone, defensive zone, it doesn't really particularly matter. Really has a knack for being able to take the puck away when he doesn't have it.
Now lead pass for Sklitsky, rolls down to Talbot, plays it right back up to center ice. Sekera has it bounce off Corey Perry. And Lushnak has it back for the Slovaks. Lushnak fires it down, and a nicing call against the Slovaks. 53 seconds to go in the third period.
Another strong game for Cam Talbot. He's played 4 of the 5 for Canada. Calvin Pickard stopped 21 of 22 shots in the win against Hungary, and good times all around for the undefeated Canadians.
And maybe help on the way, as Darren Dreger talked earlier. Ryan Ellis and Shea Weber of Nashville are possible for Canada. 2 players with a wealth of international experience, as Hudacek loves that.
The
shot of Weber, the playmaking of Ellis. Wait a minute. So Julius Hunacek actually does that in the Swedish league after wins. He does a little vaudeville dance bit after the game. Pantomimes ice fishing.
Yeah, I was going to say his ice fishing one apparently is his best yet. He comes out after the game and mimics chopping up the ice, sits down in a chair and does some fishing.
Look up Hunacek on YouTube. You'll see it. Some of them look like they're shot through wax paper, but stick with it. They're worth watching. Ranyak back for it. Final seconds now in the third period. Thomas Yurko has it. Backhand it back to center ice. Knocked down by Matheson. In comes Mike Matheson. Backhands that towards the goal. And Canada wins it by a final score of 5-0. Talbot gets his second shutout of this World Championship. And Canada now 5-0, even with Finland, as those two nations steam towards their Tuesday meeting here at the 2016 World Championship. Next up, Canada will play France on Monday. The Slovaks will take on Finland. Shots 33-18 Canada. Connor McDavid, another strong evening for the Canadians. And now the Slovaks are in some trouble.
Team Slovakia 18, Team Canada 33.
Disappointing results the last couple of years of the World Championship. They made some major changes. They're going to turn the Jets on here against some tougher teams if they want to finish top 4 in their group.
You can sense the disappointment on them. They, like we said, they felt they were in pretty good shape early in the tournament. Now they've really put themselves in a tough spot.
Time now for the player of the game presentations, and then O Canada.
Official sponsor of the 2016 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship. Дамы и господа, Райфайзен Интернациональ Банк, официальный спонсор чемпионата мира по хоккею 2016 в России, учредил специальные призы лучшим игрокам матча. The prize will be presented by Mr. Peter Pributen, Ambassador, Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Slovak Republic in Russian Federation. Приз вручает Петр Прибутен, чрезвычайный и полномочный посол Словацкой Республики в Российской Федерации. Best Player of Team Slovakia. Лучший игрок команды Словакии. Number 25, Marek Виденский. Номер 25.
With 3 assists in the game earlier in this tournament, is the Slovaks player of the game.
The prize will be presented by Anna Morozova, event coordinator of Expo Forum International Company. Приз вручает Анна Сергеевна Морозова, ивент-координатор компании Expo Forum International. Best player of Team Canada, number 33, Cam Talbot.
Talbot shutout, 18 saves.
Cam Talbot.
Runs his record to 4-0 in this World Championship. His first time around for Hockey Canada. And now for the 15th straight time at the World Championship, the Canadians will line up and hear their national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of the game winner, Team Canada.
Thank you.
отличную работу и создание радушной атмосферы в спортивном комплексе «Юбилейный», а также на всех объектах инфраструктуры чемпионата. Спасибо. News from Moscow, current score of the game between Team Kazakhstan and Latvia is Kazakhstan 1, Latvia 2. В Москве подходит к концу матч между командами Казахстана и Латвии. Со счетом 2-1 матч выигрывает команда Латвии.
The 2016 IIHF World Championship will continue tomorrow in our arena at 4:15 p.m. with the game Germany against USA. Чемпионат мира 2016 года продолжится на нашей арене завтра. 4 часа 15 минут. Матчем Германия-США.
Yeah, both of you. Let's do it. Good to go? I should know that.
Probably should, but I wasn't going to say it.
Good to go, Dave? All right, Cam, 18 saves for your second shutout of the tournament. It seems to be going well for you. You know, developing a bit of a comfort level back there.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to play behind a team like this. I mean, we don't give them a lot of time with the puck, so I know that if I can just make that first stop and then try to control the rebound, the guys are going to clear those out for me and give me a good line of sight. So it's been pretty fun to play behind these guys.
You do go some stretches without seeing much action, and that doesn't happen a lot in Edmonton. Is it something that takes a little getting used to?
A little bit. I mean, sometimes it's harder to stay focused and stay in the game, but I mean, that's the name of the game right now. I mean, later on in the tournament, that might not be the case. So I'll take these chances when I get them, take some rest, and hopefully just continue to improve as the tournament goes on.
I know you were excited to be part of this team. Just talk about the whole experience and how it's been. I mean, away from the rink, just getting to come be part of this team, get to see things over here, how it's been.
Yeah, it's been an unbelievable experience so far, and to share it with this group of guys has been pretty special. I only knew Connor, Taylor, and Brass coming into it, so to get to know a good group of guys here and make some friendships along the way. So it's been a great experience so far.
Thanks, Cam.
Thank you.
Hockey stick, please. Hockey stick.
Can you take a stick, please?
Take my stick. Hey.
Oh, sponsor.
Sponsor.
Got her?
Stand like this.
Yep. Holy smokes. Really need me to switch sides of them? Big guy. Good. Mark, another 5 goals for your team. That's 30 in 5 games. The offense just really seems to be flowing nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. When we're playing the right way, we're going to score and we're going to create chances. So, it's a big game for us, and now move on to the next one and continue to move forward.
There's been a consistency right from the get-go with the lines and the combinations. How much does that help 5 games in?
Yeah, it helps for sure. You find more and more chemistry every game, so that definitely makes it nice. So hopefully we can continue to build each line, get better and better each and every game, and get better every night.
I have to say your name is taking a bit of a beating from the public address announcer. Have your teammates caught on to that yet? Scheifele?
Yeah, they have. They start calling me that, so it's a little. I get it back home sometimes too. So it's no surprise. It's a tough one, but happy when they're saying it for sure.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks.
This is where a new adventure begins. This is the moment. This is your time.
score. Team Canada 5, Team Slovakia 0. Дорогие друзья, окончательный счет.
No return. This is where you meet yourself. This is where a new adventure begins.